What is up, guys? Lunchbox5930 here with Casually Weiss Schwarz with a deck profile. In my last deck profile, I had a poll on what deck you all wanted to see next, and you sadistic chuds asked to see this Noucome deck, and okay, before we start with the deck profile, let me give a little backstory on this deck and the actual set. So Noucome doesn't actually have a set. There is a compilation set called Sneaker Bunko where they take a bunch of the different series from like this light novel magazine and they make a set out of it. It had like Haruhi, Konosuba, Noucome, obviously Lotus War, Strike Witches, and many other in the set. In a way, it was like a condensed set. I guess that would be a way to put it. They had to make it work between like 18 different series and one Weiss set, but hey, I think they did okay. And in the set, there were like just enough cards to make a Noucome deck. There was also enough cards for like a pure Strike Witches, and there was one more, but the series escapes me and I can't really I don't remember what it was called. This deck consists of cards in the main booster set and cards of the trial deck, and every single Noucome card released is used in this deck. I would not have a full deck if I didn't, honestly. One more thing, and it's the last thing. I don't want to see in the comments that, oh, you could use this card, or you could use this card as Sneaker Bunko. That defeats the purpose of having a pure Noucome deck. You want a meta deck, or a good deck? That's some other time, not now. Anyways, I'll have a link to my unboxing that I did of the Sneaker Bunko set. I did unbox 4 of them. I'll put it up here in the corner, and I'll put it a link down in the description as well. And without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. Starting with the level 0s, I do run 4 of the swimsuit teachers. It's a 500 forward, and when you play climax, you give 1k to a character. This card is really good in the deck, and it is only an uncommon, so it wasn't that hard to pull. It's a good card in general, because especially in this deck, when you play your climaxes, you could use all the help you could get, because all the climaxes are on reverse climaxes, so this does help there, and I do run 4 of these. Then I do run 4 swimsuit Okas, and she is when it reverses a character. You could send this to your memory, and then you could play it on the stage during your draw phase. So this is really good for like bombs, because the bomb's gonna get reversed, but this is also gonna get reversed. So you could send this off to your memory and bring it back. So that way you are still getting like some direct damage thrown at you, but you're still not losing like a field advantage. So yeah, I do run 4 of these. Then I run 4 Kanada-chans. She does give 2Ks to my 2 much chocolates, which are these ones. And she is a bond, on play, pay 1, and then you could get the chocolate from your waiting room. So I personally would not have run this unless I really had to, which in this case I really did have to. And while we're in the subject of it, here are the 2-1 chocolates. She is just 2-1, 8k5 with 1 soul, plus the power of this one, it will go up to 10k5. So it's like, it needs to be done. It had to be done. And here's a climax combo, Swimsuit Furano, and when you reverse a character, not this one doesn't need a reverse, just any character in your front row. When it reverses a character, you could give 1k to another character. It's kind of like a reverse revenge, because your character's not getting reversed, you're reversing your opponent's character, and then you could give 1k to someone. And then its climax combo is with this climax. Furano cannot be tamed. This is a 1k1 and a shot. So what the climax is that when you play the climax, you give a character the following effect, which is on reverse, top check 4, add a character, then you ditch the rest. This card's really, it's decent. The climax combo does give an extra boost, but if you do have the swimsuit Furano on the field, you will be giving an extra boost, which does help because, like I mentioned, every climax in this deck is an on reverse, so this is really like one of the big playmakers of the deck. After the level 1s, I do run 2 of the Want to Be Next to You chocolates. She gets 1k during your turn, and on play you give a character 2k. I really want to bump this up, but this is a PR card, and they are very hard, especially if like you live in America or someplace not in Japan. This card's very hard to get, but it is very good, and I would bump it up to 4 or 3 if I could find the extra copies, but I only have 2, plus they're like $5 to $8 in the secondary market, so 2 works for now. I would bump it up if I find some when I go to Japan. Then I got 4 Daughters of the UOG President Oka. She can't side attack, and when she's front attack, she actually gets popped. And over here in the little tiny text, they actually make it very clear on the card that if the battle opponent disappears, which like in this case, like when it's front attack or just when it's attacked in general, it gets removed. The attack does not become a direct attack, which is, I think that's kind of funny because that is a very, very confusing like ruling. And it is kind of nice that they do include like what that ruling is in the actual card text. So that's pretty nice on their part. Oh, also 7k5 for a no cost. I mean, it can't side attack, but do you really need a side attack in anything with 7k5? Then I do run 3 of these blue 1-0 events, the Sharp-Tongued Tsundere and Flat-Chested Furano. Jesus, that is a weird name. You can't play this if you have 2 or less characters. You mill the top 2 cards of your deck and you'll salvage a character whose total level equals the total level of the cards milled. I would cut this down to 2 and I would add an extra PR. That's where this would go, but this is good milling because in this deck there's not really really consistent ways of milling. Like we do have the climax combo, but you have to reverse a character, you do have to have the climax, and you need to have that character on the field. This is really nice because you just need to have 2 characters on the field, which most likely you will have, and then you get 2 free mills, just 2 cards. But hey, still something. Plus you got a salvage on top of that. Here's the climax combo, and this is actually one of the better climax combos in the set. It's bitter or sweet chocolat, and on reverse, if you have naked girls talk, which it's this climax over here, and it is a 1k1 and a wind when triggered. I actually did pull a triple rare, but I don't run it because I don't want to get it like bent because this is a jank ass deck. Anyways, you perform one of the following effects. You either blind stock 2 or you salvage a character. And like I mentioned earlier, they did have to like condense the set, and giving this card 2 effects that 2 separate cards could do is really, really nice, and it does help add like a bit of consistency. It does accelerate your stock, which in this deck you don't really use a lot of stock. Like there is like 2 or 3 cards that could use the stock, but most of the things are free. But anyways, solid card, solid climax combo, and it's really, really good just like in general. And most people do run this climax combo as their level 1 game for like meta sneaker Bunko decks. And yeah, I do run 4, and I do run 4 of the climaxes as well. Now my level 2s, I did talk about this one already. This is from the TD. It is a vanilla, but it is a chocolate. Haha, what? But you know, I do run a playset because I kind of have to run a playset of those. And here's a card that will get me sent to prison. It's Legal Lolly Teacher. Jesus, I hate that. That name is just so weird to say. Anyways, on play, top check 2 and add whatever characters you revealed as markers. So you need to have at least 2 markers underneath this thing. And you could pay 1, ditch the 2 markers, and you could pop a level 3 or lower character in the front row. So you pay 1, on play, top check 2. Let's say like these are the 2 characters. You set them underneath this as a marker, and then you could just pay 1. Get rid of the 2 markers and pop a level 3 or lower in your opponent's front row, and that's really, really nice. Also, on top of that, when I was playing this deck, you know, playtesting around, you know, what little playtesting I could do, most people don't know this, but this swings for 2 soul. So let's say I pop something in the front row, I could just like crash it into something, and then I'm getting like 2 soul, at minimum 2 soul damage in with this card. This is a really nice card. Not because of the art or anything, just like its effect is really, really nice. Oh god, please don't call the FBI. Alright, level 3s. I do run 2 Chocolate's Awakenings, and you give 2 characters 4k targeting protection. That's it. That's all it does. It is an event, so it's no cost though. At least there's that. So yeah. And here we go. I do run 4 Swimsuit Chocolates. She is a 4 character early drop, and on play, draw 2, ditch 2, and you blind stock 1. And yeah, it's a pretty solid card. You do dig deeper in your deck, and it does pay for half of its stock. You do have to ditch 2 cards, but you know, it's a small price to pay with a card this good, especially on an early drop. And that's actually all the level 3s. What I like about these climax combos is that they're very interchangeable, because most likely you will be having either a Furano in the back row, or you'll be having this one in your front row, so that way you will always get a climax combo popping off. Ideally, for any point in the game, you would want to have this card, this swimsuit teacher, on the field in your back row as often as possible. That card is very, very important. Ideally, you would either want to have another one of these, or maybe you could have one of these, or you could have two of these and something like that. It's up to you, depending what you get in your hand, but most likely you will have both of these right here. So let's say we'll do this climax combo first. You'll play her. She'll be getting 500 extra from right here, so she'll be at 5k5. Then let's say you'll play her. She will get up to 5k during your turn. And Omble, you do give 2k to a character, so you could be giving it here, so it'll be at 7k5. Generally, you're gonna be above everything here. And I don't know, let's just throw her on the field. So now let's play this climax, 1k1 to all your characters. Now this is gonna be at 8k5, which is great. Like, you don't need to worry about anything. This will be at 8k5 and this will be at 6k. Now the swimsuit teacher is gonna activate, and you could give 1k to a character just in case if your opponent has a backup or anything. You could give an extra 1k over here, and then you could give this effect to this card as well. So then, battle phase, let's say you attack with this one. You reverse a character, this activates, give your 1k here. Then let's say you attack, you also reverse, you'll get the climax combo from this one. Top check 4, add a character, then she would also activate, and then you could give 1k to this one. Hence, everything would pretty much be above normal powers during your turn. So what I'm trying to get at is, this deck is a straight up beatdown deck. Everything gives everything else powers, and that's why I would like to bump this up to 3 or 4, because like I mentioned throughout the video, everything is an on reverse climax combo. So ideally I would want to get my characters above average. That way I could get my effects off and I could get rid of my opponent's characters. And this field also works if you have, like, let's say, generally, you know, the exact same thing, yeah, this works. You could, like, this position doesn't really matter. It really only matters depending on what climax combo or what effect you want to get off. Like, let's say you run the chocolate one. Same thing, you give your powers everywhere, but ideally you would want to attack with this one last. That way it has the most power, thus getting the effect off of its climax combo, which is either the blind stock 2 or you could salvage one. And that's what I really like about this deck, that it melds pretty damn well. But now I'm going to talk about its weak points. So with this deck, you do plus fairly well, but to what point are you plussing? You're not really working towards an end goal. You don't really have, like, big effects that could finish your opponent off. Like, okay, you do have this 2-1 chocolate, which does give power from this one, but that's only at 10k5. That's it. You can turbo the chocolate out by playing this one, paying 1, then getting the chocolate to your hand, paying an extra 1, and you'll get a 10k5 beater at a level 2, but that's it. That's all it does. It's just a beater. This one, you're just swinging for 2 soul. Fuck, 3k? What are you reversing? Not even, most level 0s go above 3k at this point. So you're not really getting rid of anything. You're just, you know, pretty much just getting it for the pop. But then again, it is also a gamble effect, because what if you top check the event? Because again, I am running 3 events and I am running 8 climaxes. So there is a possibility that I will not get the 2 characters. So thus making it just a dead card, although you can just reverse it for the 2 soul. And then the big one. This is the only level 3 in the entire Noucome, I was gonna say discography. And the Noucome, like, set part, the part of the set in Sneaker Bunko. And it's just a plussing card, and it's an early drop. Like, you're not really doing much with this deck. Like, you do plus, you do plus 2, but you also got a ditch 2, but you also got a blind stock. So you are like plussing yourself in a way, but you're not doing much. You just have a 10k beater. That's it. Most level 3s will be above this. Even if your opponent has some back row, they'll be above this. And then there's this card. Pretty much my entire win condition revolves around this, because these cards, not that strong, honestly. Just 10k, 10k 5. These two chocolates. So pretty much, I would play these, and then I would pop down the event, assuming I get this, and then I could give them like an extra 4k. So they'll be at 14k and 14k 5. Plus like the extra other back row. That's it. This is just a beat down deck that doesn't really go anywhere. You do get a lot of stock from like the 1-0 chocolat, and you get some extra stock back from this one, but you're not really doing much with it. No, there is no way to brainstorm. Your most effective milling method is the event, which is you're only milling 2 cards with this event. This Furano, but you gotta have the climax combo and you gotta reverse a character, but you do +1. And then I'm counting this one because I'm grasping at straws at this point. Just on play top check 2, and then you'll get the markers. Although they're not going into your waiting room, you will be reversing this with for its 2 soul, so they're pretty much gonna end up in the waiting room. But yeah, that's it. What this deck could use is like an actual level 3 finisher. That would be great. And then a way to effectively brainstorm or mill your cards. That would be pretty damn good. And yeah, that was the Noucome deck. It's not good. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not that good. It's decent. It has climax combos, which is great. It just suffers from, not from power, but just like having an effective strategy to actually warrant doing effects for. Like what are you blind stocking 2 for? What are you salvaging? So that's pretty much it. Are we gonna be seeing more Noucome cards in the future? Most likely not, because I don't think Sneaker Bunko is gonna get another set. Most likely what they would be doing is that they'll be getting more light novel like magazines, or maybe some manga magazines on board with Weiss Schwarz, thus giving us more sets like Sneaker Bunko, but I don't think we're actually going to be getting another Sneaker Bunko. And yeah, the reason I made this deck, I really like Noucome. It's a funny series, it's filled with like lovable characters, they're all fucking dumb, and yeah, I made a deck because I could, and you know, it was fairly cheap as well, but it could use a lot of work, and this is like as best I could get it, but hey, you know, whatever. Reject 5 forever. And yeah, this has been Lunchbox 5930 with another deck profile and with Casually Weiss Schwarz, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, one last thing that I should probably mention. Since the voting thing went pretty well to choose this deck, I'm going to open up another poll for y'all to vote which deck I should do next. I will have them over here. I probably put them near the beginning of the video. So yeah, let me know what's the next deck that you want to see. I do have like about 4 or so. So yeah, let me know, and I will see y'all later.